So, clarity leads to power. That's one of the things that we say in our classes all the time, that if you want to create something from a place of power, you have to be clear about what it is that you want. Most people don't know, or maybe they know what they want, maybe they don't know exactly how they're going to get it, or maybe they don't even really know what they want. They think they do, but maybe not. So I always say, look, start with what you don't know. Start with what you don't know, because everybody knows what you don't want, right? Everybody knows what you don't want. So start with what you don't want, or what you don't want to have in your life. And then you pivot from that place. So you pivot from what you don't want to what you do want. And once you're clear about what it is that you do want or that you're choosing in your life, once you're clear, then you can create from that place. And that's the personal power. Clarity leads to power. Let me read the card to you. It says, when you are clear with your intentions, you are the most powerful. At that moment, you have the power to create your reality. No longer are you being distracted, boy, I can relate with that, by confusion or chaos or indecision. With perfect clarity comes personal power and success. So I may have pulled this for you. That's awesome. And I know what it meant to me is that a lot of times I'm very unclear about what it is. I get indecisive about certain things, about, what am I doing and why am I doing this and how am I going to get this done? And so I get really confused. I confuse myself and then I get overwhelmed. So if that's you, if you've done that before, then certainly what I say is clarity leads to power. So I know a lot of people who say, I want to be clear. I want to have clarity in my life. Well, I've always said in the past, be mindful of when you say that. Because if you really want to get clear and you keep saying, I want to get clear, then you really will. You're going to get a lot of clarity. And sometimes that clarity is maybe not exactly what you want. So just be mindful and know that that could happen. So here's what happens. Let's say that you have something in your life that you don't like. And then you look at that and you say, man, that sucked. I didn't like that at all. So I'm not going to repeat that. So we call that contrast, right? We call the stuff that we don't want in our lives contrast. And so when we have that contrast, that can lead us to clarity. So in other words, if we are having things in our life that we don't want, now we know we don't want that. So we just shift our focus to what it is that we do want. And that gives us a little more clarity about that direction. It takes us out of chaos a little bit, takes us out of confusion. So the more clear we become, the more successful we can create from. So if you are creating from a place of I don't know, then it can get kind of confusing, right? So I'm just saying, clarity leads to power. And if you are not clear, I really invite you to come to Essence of Being in any of our classes that we do throughout the world, throughout this year, okay? And play with us in that realm. And you can get these cards on essenceofbeing.com and you pull one every day, which is a message for you. But if you find yourself being indecisive or being confused or just kind of stuck sometimes, it's really good just to start over and just say, okay, this is what I don't want. This is what I do want. And from that place, you can have the passion to create. You can have the clarity of mind and of heart to really say to the universe, to God, to whatever energy you want to say out there, whatever you're vibrating to, saying, look, I choose to create success in my life. And success looks like this. And I want more of it, whatever that is. So here's the thing I want you to remember, is that if things are not working, you're having contrast in your life, use that contrast to move you toward clarity. Use that clarity to create. And from that place, you have a really great sense of power, of personal power of creation, of creating it from a place of knowing, and a place of vision, and a place of connection and inspiration. So This is great for me because I have not been clear about my intentions. I haven't. And therefore my results show that. So I get really bogged down sometimes in all of the confusion and all the drama and all the different things that can happen, and I get pulled like squirrel, squirrel, squirrel. Okay? So if I can remain focused on my clarity of what it is that I'm creating and make decisions from that point of view, then I'm going to create it a lot faster and I'll be more successful. And so that's the bubble talk. That's the subconscious thought that keeps us from getting what we want. Remember this card for this week. Whenever you're feeling confused, chaotic, stuck, overwhelmed, clarity leads to power, personal power to be able to create everything that you want and choose.